Warning, you're about to see AI-generated depictions of animal abuse and/or sexualization. This includes viscera, vomit, feces, and more. Viewer discretion advised. Think of the worst thing you've seen on YouTube recently. What came to mind? Well, this is worse. I was looking for a video to watch during dinner time when a horrific thumbnail caught my eye. And let's just say dinner was the last thing on my mind after that. Take a look at the page of Cute Cat AI and you'll immediately see why this is such an alarming issue. Before even getting to the video thumbnails, let's take a look at the channel's description. Welcome to Cute Cat AI. Here we transform the charm of cats with the magic of AI, crafting mesmerizing and unique cat videos like you've never seen before. Each video brings out the playfulness, quirks, and endless cuteness of our furry friends, brought to life by cutting-edge AI technology. Subscribe and step into this enchanting world where every whisker has a story, every purr has personality, and each video promises a new, heartwarming adventure. Join us on Cute Cat AI, where innovation meets irresistible feline charm. Putting aside that it was most likely written by an AI itself, this screams content maliciously geared towards children. From the witty cat-themed puns to the inviting adjectives like furry, enchanting, and heartwarming. The channel has amassed roughly 8 million views, which is a pretty sizable number for this kind of content, especially AI-generated content. The date the channel was created and the subscriber count is also very suspicious. It was created on May 20th, 2008, and has a total of nearly 35,000 subscribers, but their first video was uploaded only 2 months ago. My theory? Either the content has already reached an alarming amount of children, and kids being kids click the sub button out of habit or intrigue. Or this channel was under another name and had different content. It was bought out or either changed formatting after the discovery that AI-generated content is unfortunately a very lucrative business. I know these numbers may not be accurate, but the fact that money is being made here in an exploitative way is heartbreaking. Whichever hypothesis is correct, it spells a very dark and dangerous future for this platform. I mean, just look at this banner and profile picture and tell me this isn't meant to deceive children into a false sense of security. As gruesome as these thumbnails are, they still captivate the viewer. They have bright colors, overly exaggerated violent scenarios, and kittens. A child might see this pregnant mother cat and think of their own mother. They may feel sympathy or curiosity just because it's something they're familiar with. There's also an insane amount of fecal and vomit depiction that borders on fetish territory, and I would argue that it does, but much on that later. Let's take a look at this content and you'll see that it further solidifies my argument and concern. Nearly every video has a violent situation unfolding with an intro claiming blatantly false information. That or scary scenes of monsters eviscerating tiny kittens. Then, out of nowhere, they cut to a storytime format that seems innocent enough. The damning piece of evidence that this is all for children is all in its writing and narration. It's very simple and story-like in the same way a children's book is. However, even at that level, the AI cannot form a very coherent sentence. You can tell there was very little to no human intervention on that part. Also, the music, if you can even call it that, is painfully AI generated as well. My guess is it's to avoid a copyright flag by the YouTube automation system so that there's no unnecessary and unwanted attention. The sound effects only really include children laughing, crying, and screaming. The narration almost sounds teacher or motherly-like, again bringing down the guard and conveying a sense of familiarity. The locations are also very telling. Schools, school buses, theme parks, and colorful environments are all obviously centered around children. A lot of these include situations where the kittens fall victim to accidents in these same locations, whether that be malfunctions, shootings, or monsters. This could inflict paranoia amongst the children that view this, making them reluctant to go to school the next morning or take a family trip to the water park. Now, you may think I'm being overly serious about this, but anyone who has raised or grew up with little children know how gullible and impressionable they are. They mostly won't be able to discern AI from reality. They won't be aware of the labels that make a distinction. You and I may be able to tell, but little Timmy can't even count to 10 yet. How can you expect him to read that it's AI generated? Next, I want to get into what I claimed earlier. Fetish territory. Ignoring the presence of gore, there are numerous occasions where the cats are vomiting mud, worms, or fecal matter, and unsurprisingly, it happens to mostly kittens. They go on for an uncomfortable amount of time. Take this scenario. A kitten has abdominal pain and is literally sitting in their own poop. Even if they try to frame it as mud or dirt, it is clearly only because of the limitation of generative AI. I mean, look at this and tell me a normal person made it. The kittens are playing in it, eating it, vomiting it. This crosses the line into very predatorial. The violence, the excessive grossness, and sexual depictions all happen to kittens. If there weren't restrictions, who's to say they wouldn't just outright replace the kittens with generated children? This is borderline pedophilic in nature, and either this is predatory towards children, which it is, or it's geared towards adults who enjoy these scenarios, both of which are dangerous and should not be allowed on YouTube, even if it's AI generated. Where do the restrictions start and end? Is it because this is an AI that YouTube doesn't care? Surely people have reported this, so where is the human intervention? When content like this that is clearly predatory is monetized, it further incentivizes others to follow in their footsteps. If there is truly no regulations on AI generated content, then what's stopping the flood? Any sicko can come onto this platform and profit off the trauma of the younger generation. This could rewire their brain into forming a connection with this type of content. They'll start getting addicted to violent depictions and look for the next worst thing, that being live leaks or real life violence, even sexual violence against women and those of the pregnant variety. I'm urging you to report this channel if you can. Write to YouTube about this. Anything to get this on their front desk and raise attention to a potential new exploitative content farm. There are multiple channels as we speak that are popping up with the same content strategy, just licking their lips, salivating at this new opportunity. One last thing I want to touch up on is how they managed to generate something like this. I'm going to assume the blood is ketchup, the gore is a combination of food like meats, fruits, and gummies, maybe even pasta. The fecal matter is a mixture of dirt, mud, and worms. And AI being AI, there's a possibility that it was trained using real images on scenarios like this. Yes, I am happy that there are restrictions on what AI can generate, but as you can see, there are clearly numerous workarounds to bypass this. And as time goes on, those restrictions may become lighter and more exploitations may surface. I'm not an expert, but even I can see that AI laws and regulations are very uncertain, and only time will tell whether or not platforms will do anything about this new internet pandemic.